Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Manchester United versus Chelsea live stream watch along. It's the last game before the Europa League and Amrim has gone strong. Spurs, who I'm currently watching at the moment, have gone very weak, although Son is playing for them. He's just had a shot that's just gone over the bar, actually. We've got a fantastic game for you to play as well tonight called Match Bingo, which includes an opportunity to have a little bit more fun while the game's going on. I'll explain that to you in a moment, but links in the description and we'll get on with that as well. Change your title, bro. What? Why has that got Chelsea on it? Why has that got West Ham on it? Oh, I'm such an idiot. What? I don't understand why I've done that. I don't even make any... There's absolutely no sense to that at all. That is shameful. I've got to own that. Thank you very much, everybody. 10 years doing it and not changing the title from the previous game. We're definitely not playing West Ham again, although we are in London, aren't we? So what are your thoughts on the team for Manchester United tonight? I actually think it's probably our strongest team. I think he's actually picking a team that he's going to try and win with, and I think it's not going to be far off from his final team. I've got a feeling it will be Casemiro and Bruno in the midfield, and I think he'll start Mount and not Garnacho. The only change I think for the final will be Mazraoui instead of Lindelof if Dalot is back. But apart from that, I reckon that might be his team for the final. I'm pretty. I think, in my opinion, that's sort of what I think it will be. So let me know your thoughts on that because I think it's. That's my thoughts on it. Amrim has said ahead of the game that he's picked a strong team because he feels that there's a lot of time to recover. Obviously, Ange hasn't done that. There's a lot of their best players on the bench. So it's a contrast, isn't it? One manager going with his reserves, one manager going strong. Spurs have just nearly scored, though. We typically tell. But in addition to that, what I will say is that I think that we've got a really interesting game for us tonight because I think that how Man United approach this, we can't get any injuries, and I just worry about Mazraoui actually being in the starting lineup. Actually, we've got some really interesting Manchester United comments coming in from Amarin, but there we go, lovely. I was wondering when the scorecard was going to go up. That was what was annoying me. I'm just not used to that. But yeah, we've got some interesting quotes coming in from Ruben Amarin, which we'll go through in a moment. But let me know what your thoughts are on the team. But we are sponsored by Match Bingo tonight. Now, if you were thinking this Premier League game doesn't really have a lot of excitement, where have you been for 10 years? You know, we get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and watch Man United reserves play against MLS Galaxy and love it. But this is Manchester United against Chelsea, and we've got a bit of added excitement for you because we've partnered up with Match Bingo. Check it out. You do have to be over 18 to play it, but it's fun. And I've got my bingo card is in, as you can see there on the screen. So how it works is you can play along. My card's ready. I'll read out what's on my card because there's no way you're going to be able to read all that. It's way too small, which I didn't think it was going to be small, but that's what's... I'm not used to things being small. But let me just tell you what I've got on my card because you're never going to read that. And I've got glasses on. So how it works with Match Bingo is it's a fun way to get involved through the match. If you haven't checked it out yet, it's a new app that mixes football, betting and bingo. It uses real match actions like free kicks, corners and goals to automatically fill in your bingo card. Each card has got 15 possibilities. So I've got right-footed goal, throw in, yellow card, minute ending in 8, kick-off taken, goal kick taken, direct woodwork hit, attempt off target, 1 sub made, shot saved, 4th sub made, free kick taken, 4-minute stoppage time, 2nd sub made and caught offside. Every time one of them things happens, I tick one off on my card and it will do it for you as well. If I get 1 line, I win. If I get 2 lines, I win. If I get a full house, I win. So that's how it works. And this is for the Man United Chelsea game. So I've got my card. You can be playing along as well. I'll certainly be keeping up to date with what happens with mine, and we'll put it up on the screen for you as well. All you got to do to get started and play along, a little bit more fun involved with the game as well, is scan the QR code or go through the link in the description. Keep an eye on my card too, because I will be showing you that, and it'll be updating during the game. So if I land a win, I expect some celebration in the chat. As I said, scan the QR code. You can get playing along with that as well. It is 18 plus, and it is only UK only at the moment, as always. So please gamble responsibly and be gamble aware. Big thanks to Match Bingo for sponsoring the stream, and let's get excited to play the game. I've played the game. Well, I haven't played the game yet, but I am playing the game today. So get involved in that. Thank you very much to Match Bingo. Let's have a look at some of Ruben Amorim's comments ahead of this game, because he has had a few things to say with regards to the game. And let me find these now, because I know it's on the United Stand Twitter page. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this game. I think Chelsea having to win just gives it a real intensity, which makes me worried a little bit, if I'm being completely honest. But look, Amorim has said, on choosing a strong 11, we have 5 days to prepare for the final, and our focus is on this game. Sometimes the best way to prepare for the final is to play and compete. We've had experienced some problems in that area, so I want to see the team complete. Sorry, I'm just been messaged something about United here. Okay, so let's have a look at what else Amorim has said. He said we've got 5 days to prepare for the final, and our focus is on the game. Sometimes the best way to prepare for the final is to play and compete. He's also said, I need to understand my team to prepare the final in a better way, and they need to prove themselves for the final. We need to compete in the Premier League. The biggest problems we've had this season is in training. We had Ahmad's injury in training, and also Mainu. We never know where the danger is, but we have time to recover for the final, so let's compete. It's not that we're experimenting, it's just looking at the team and Chelsea and focusing on this game. Then we've got time to prepare for the final. As the manager, I've chose a strong team to win the game. Look, I have to play devil's advocate here. There are still some more quotes, actually. He said, I see positives, and I've seen it in the last games. You can look at the amount of games we had chances to win against Athletic Club. I felt the team was too open, but didn't feel that against West Ham. I see many good things, but I don't want to share when we're losing so many games, as it's hard for our fans to understand. I'm not going to help people understand our moments. I need to say it. That's why I'm always saying we are losing games, but I'm still confident, as I clearly know what to do with the team. I think the moment is not to share that, it's to share the pain with our fans. I don't know what he's saying there. We need to finish this season as every season has its history, with Blackburn Rovers almost relegated, then champion, Leicester almost relegated, then champion, Nottingham Forest almost Champions League, and last year they were fighting for their lives. So it's a different context. People don't understand how things are changing at Carrington in this club. Let's finish this season and then we will see. Look, all the stuff that Amorim has said there is brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and I think everybody would agree with me. I think. Do you enjoy what Amorim has said there? I presume that you do. It's all amazing, it's all great, but also if it goes wrong, it's terrible. So I think, if we pick up an injury, people will say you didn't need to do that. Why do we need to compete in the Premier League today against Chelsea, but we didn't and haven't in other games where we've gone and rotated and picked kids and stuff? So I think what he's done is he's using the Premier League as a reason to compete when it's not true. He's putting his best team out ahead of the final on Wednesday. I don't think it's got anything to do with the Premier League, because we've seen him rotate in the Premier League in between other Europa League games. I think he's going strong because his attitude is, I'm going to try and get some momentum in the team ahead of Wednesday. My concerns are probably your concerns. Harry Maguire, Mazraoui, we can't afford another defensive injury, and we've been told that they're in the red zone. Starting Mason Mount against Chelsea is probably a roll of the dice to see if he can start him in the final, because at some point Mason Mount's probably going to get injured, but at some point he's going to have to start playing games and not get injured. So I understand why he's done that. But yeah, I don't really swallow the whole, oh, we've got to compete in the Premier League. We've lost 17 games, mate, and most of them have been under you. So we can't start competing with 2 games to go before a massive final. I think he's just picking a strong team for the final. That's what I think he's doing, but I don't think he wants to give that away publicly. So I quite like what he said, but obviously I'm fully aware that there would be critics if things went wrong. Score prediction, I've got a funny feeling that we might get a draw. Yeah, I don't know what anyone else thinks. Evening, Mark. Mods in the chat, says Graham Robinson. Thank you very much, Graham. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Mark. Hope you're doing well. Donut Man's given us a super chat. Just got back room after catching a bit of the Barca parade. Looking forward to the United barbecue party. How dare you wear blue? You switch sides, says Mazraoui. No, I just think it contrasts quite nicely with all the red. So there we go. And I've just been out in the garden in a lightweight shirt. How significant is the Club World Cup in this new format, says Mohammed. What are we talking about the Club World Cup for? We're not even in it. G says, sorry, Mohammed. Appreciate the comment, but I don't really have anything to say on the United stand about the Club World Cup. Pessimistic question here, Mark, says G. What actual proof do we have that we are in a pole position for Cunha? And where do we go if we don't land him? Fabrizio Romano, literally today, has said that Man United are favourites to land Cunha. It's just negotiating with Wolves. I think as my reading of it is, and I think many of your readings of it is that we are doing the Cunha deal after the Europa League final for a bit of PR. Ali says Chelsea's going to beat you. It's great how you know the future, mate. Well done. £2 for Man United to win 3-0, 100 to 1. Come on, United, says Paul Connolly. Never going to happen. Why are rival fans getting triggered about Amrin being interviewed all the time? It's his bloody job. I think we're getting triggered as well, Varadi. I don't think we want it to happen. Lee, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for that as well. Appreciate your super chats. We will certainly read those out. I'm not changing my shirt. I don't know why people are getting so toxic on a Friday night about me wearing a light blue shirt. We're fucking shit. We've lost 17 Premier League games, and I actually don't give a shit if we lose tonight. So, jog on. I won't be wearing white on Wednesday. That's all that matters. But if you really think the colour of a shirt on a watch-along is going to have something to do with why Man United are absolute shite in the Premier League, you need to get out and do something with your lives. Good evening. I'm just hoping for a good performance, says Little Fat Dosser. Thank you very much, pal. Yeah, look... I mean, to be honest, I've got the Spurs game on. They've had 2 big chances against Aston Villa. Villa haven't played that well. So, yeah, I guess we'll have to just wait and see how Man United turn up, because let's have a look at the Chelsea side. Don't forget to have a play on Match Bingo. It's going to be good fun tonight. Scan the QR code or go through the link in the description. But let's get the Chelsea team up on the screen for you. No Jadon Sancho, which is a shame, really. He can't play against us because he's got, obviously, we're his parent club, so you can't play against your parent club. I would have been happy to see him play because they're probably stronger without him. So they've gone with Sanchez, James, Tosin, Colwell, Cucurella, Casido, Enzo, Palmer, George, Neto, and Madueke. Interestingly, obviously, they are missing Jackson because of the red card last week. So... looking at our team and comparing it to that team, which we can do now, I actually don't buy into the fact that we, I think we could get something out of this game. I think we could get something out of this game. Probably should do as well. Yeah. Okay, here's another update. Amram, fucking hell, what is Ruben Amram doing? Like, what is he doing? He's now doing bloody massive interviews before a game. There's another quote just come. I mean, fucking hell, he must have been. Somebody shut him up and get him in the dressing room. There's another quote coming out from Amram before the game. I've never known so many quotes before a game in my fucking life. I can't believe it. There's another one. I've read about 5 minutes worth of quotes before the game. He's got another one now. I'm saying I see good things and I know what I'm doing. What is a good thing? The board are doing everything and sometimes it's not the popular thing, but we know what to do. We are doing things during this season. It was tough, but let's finish the season. Okay. Don't talk about the board, Ruben. I mean, that's faux pas number one. Do not speak positively about the board. That's going to be the biggest way to get yourself sacked and not popular with the fan base. So keep doing what you're doing, buying tickets when the board won't buy people tickets, and demanding better signings. But the minute you start backing the board is the minute you're going to start losing supporters, mate. Amorim is spot on. Let's compete. Some of the Spurs players haven't played for weeks. It's like a wedding night. It's never as good as a spontaneous night out. Win or lose tonight, we will take momentum, says Nick P. Friday night watch along and the sun's still out. Sun is still out. What a time to be alive, says Connor. I'm hoping for a win, says Morn. No injuries. I love the channel and the content. Love from South Africa. Yeah, let us know where you're watching from, everybody. Friday night game. I think we haven't had a Friday night game in months and months and months. But yeah, look, I don't mind a Friday night game when we've got a final on Wednesday. It's probably the only time I'm really happy to have a Friday night game. Back, Amorim, says Henry T. I'm just hoping for a good performance, says Little Fat Doser as well. Thank you very much for that. 0 injury tonight will be more than a win for us, says Imperfectly Perfect. Thank you very much for that. Love that in the chat as well. Loads of people telling us where we're watching from. There we go. Hello, Mark. I just wanted to let you know that Victor Lindelof's wife is expected to give birth any day now. I believe it could have a big impact if he doesn't play the final due to that, says Isaac. Mate, you're talking to me like he's bloody Bobby Moore. It's Victor Lindelof. I mean, if he has to jog on because his wife's given birth, I don't think it's going to be the different. I genuinely think if we lose the Europa League final and Victor Lindelof misses it because of the birth of his child, I really don't think there's going to be many Man United fans going, I can't believe our luck. I can't believe it. If Lindelof had been fit, we would have won. Yeah, I really don't think that's going to massively. Jide says, good vibes on a Friday watch along. Cheers. Thank you, pal. Watching from Brisbane, Australia, says Chris. Thank you very much as well. Really appreciate that. So yeah, we've had loads of comments from Amorim. I'm not going to go through them again. Life's too short. I think basically the reality is that he has gone strong with his team. If we can get that back up on the screen for everybody who's just tuning in. There it is. And Spurs, if you're interested in the Spurs lineup, I'm not going to put it up on the screen for you, though. It's still 0-0. I have got it on at the moment. They went with Kinksky, Spence, Danzo, Davies, Reguilon, Gray, Sarr, Odebear, Moore, Son, and Tell. The bench, Bentancur will start on Wednesday. Basuma will start on Wednesday. Brennan Johnson will start on Wednesday. Porro will start on Wednesday. Solanke will start on Wednesday. Vicario will start on Wednesday, and Van der Ven and Romero aren't even there. So there's probably 8 players that will start on Wednesday who are either on the bench or not even there for Spurs. Adoki's not there either, is he? So that's 9. Yeah. And they're still 0-0 with Villa, actually. So that's quite interesting. Yeah, Villa. We played Villa on the last game of the season, don't we? Watching from sunny Manchester. Thank you very much. Why are we playing our first team? I'm going to run a poll here, actually. What would you have done? What would you have done? Stayed on the door or kicked Rose off? No, that's Titanic. Strong team or play reserves? If you were at Amorim, what would you do? Strong team or play the reserves? Let me know. L2L says, why are we playing our first team, shooting for 15th? Why are we playing Maguire and Lindelof in 2025, says Liam. Another new Amrim quote just came out a minute ago. I had a medium steak with gravy, mashed potato and vegetables. It was really nice, says Jackie Boy. Wouldn't be surprised. Carol J's watching from sunny Manchester. Well, it's very nice in the UK today, actually. It's not been a bad week of weather, actually, which is always a bonus, especially in May. Nick P says, let's go into this game like it means something. Seriously, what are Spurs preparing for? Their players' brains will have one foot in the Algarve. Look, honestly, I don't even know if we'll remember. Come full time next Wednesday night, I don't even know if we'll remember. I don't even know if it will be that big an issue. I don't think if we're 2-0 down in the 10th with 10 minutes to go, people will be saying it's because we went strong against Chelsea and they rested players against Villa. I think the bigger issue for me is not... I actually, let me just be very blunt. If we get through this game with no injuries, I don't think it makes any difference whether we pick a strong team or a weak team. I don't think it does. In fact, if we get through this game with no injuries and play quite well, it could be more beneficial for us. But I think Ange and Amorim have just completely gone opposites. I think Amorim is taking the risk of continuity and form with a strong team. And Ange has gone, I can't take the risk. I've just lost Kulusevski for the season. I've lost Maddison for the season. I've lost Bergvall for the season. I cannot lose anybody else. So I am literally not going to risk them. And I don't think you can argue with either thing. What would I have done? That's going to be the question. I wouldn't have picked Maguire and Mazraoui. They're the only two I don't agree with. I think in every other area of the pitch, we're probably okay. I mean, Rasmus worries me a little bit as well. But, you know, Ahmad, Garnacho, Mount, Bruno, you've got a lot of number 10 issues. But, yeah, Mazraoui and Maguire just worry me a little bit. Thank you very much, Nick P, for your super chat, by the way. Really appreciate this. Thank you very much. Who's on the bench for Manchester United tonight? Let me have a quick look for you. So we've got Anana is starting, not on the bench, sorry. Amas is on the bench. Bienda's on the bench. Collier is on the bench. Eriksson is on the bench. Fredrickson is on the bench. Garnacho is on the bench. Heaven, Mainu and Agate. So, look, Mainu, Agate, Garnacho are players that maybe might have been thinking they were going to start today. So are they going to be involved in the final? And remember, look, there is a top 5 race to play here. So I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Jacob Hawks says, consistently inconsistent. United season in a nutshell. Need to stay healthy. Otherwise, we are done for. Alonso says, play strong for 45 minutes is okay. Take them off after half time. Cheers, Mark, says Alonso. Thank you very much. If we can get a result, it could boost confidence, says James. Strong team, be good for adjustments to play Spurs, says John. J Deep Singh, thank you very much for your super chat as well. Yeah, look, I think you just got to trust the manager, haven't you? I trust the manager. Hopefully, many of you do as well. And I think that, look, Chelsea are going to... I said this in the preview. I think there is certainly an aspect to this game where it's a harder game than the final. Emotionally, it's not, but there is logic to what I'm saying, and I said this in the preview. Chelsea at Stamford Bridge are a better team than Spurs in Bilbao, and Chelsea are trying desperately to get into the top 5, so it's their cup final as well. So they are going to play intense. In a way, and I don't know whether Amorim has thought this, but in a way, he might be like, this is a good training session ahead of a very, very difficult game. And he might be looking at it like that, I suppose. So, look, I don't know. I don't know whether that's the way he's looked at it. But Chelsea will be a difficult game. Of that, there are no doubts at all. So, let's see how it pans out. Let's come back to the chat then. Watching from Kansas City, says Lucas. Having the day off, getting to watch a match and listening to your watch along is always something I look forward to. Thank you very much, says Lucas. Yeah, big shout out wherever you're watching from. Yoni says, what's the email to submit videos to for the USA? Yeah, look, we've had so many videos, and not just from the US, even though it's for a US fan forum. But if you're interested in that, that's footballmedia@gmail.com. Thank you very much for everybody who sent one in so far. This feels like it's Mount's audition for the final. Well, apparently Mount's not very popular with the Chelsea fans. I don't really understand what that's all about, but apparently he's not. And he certainly had a bit of a set to with Enzo Fernandez last year, didn't he? So, look, if Mason Mount's going to get injured in any game because of the intensity, it's going to be this. But he's got to start coming through these sorts of games. I mean, it's like I said this morning. What a complete and utter load of shit that they're looking to loan him out. Play strong, done that one from Alonso as well. Maybe Ruben is afraid to be losing 4-0 at half time, says Orange. Maybe. Yeah. That would be interesting. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you share the video. Thanks for all this early super chats, and I really appreciate everyone who's tuning in tonight on a Friday night. Look, I know the Premier League is a little bit of a dead duck now, but we've only got 2 left, and honestly, this game is we need this. Like, Amrim's right. You can't have 9 days between games. Like West Ham to Spurs in the Europa League is 9 days. You can't have that. We need to get players on that pitch. We need to see some intensity. And also, I've got to say, one positive about the team that Man United have picked, I'll mention Match Bingo again in a minute, but let me just go back to the United side. I think sometimes we forget, and we shouldn't forget. There's something really important to say here. When you look at it, we've got Garnacho on the bench. And I've said about Garnacho, I think he's a really talented player who's been overplayed to the point where he knows he's going to start every single game. He now doesn't know if he's going to be starting in the final of the Europa League. I think Amorim is doing to Garnacho what he's always wanted to do, which is not have him in the starting lineup and give him a little bit of a kick up the arse when it's needed. So, look, some might say it's a little bit harsh because Ahmad's been injured, Mount's been injured, and then they get back, they play in the final, and Garnacho, who's kept himself fit, is suddenly now on the bench. But maybe that is a fair comment. But I also think that if we want to get the best out of Garnacho and we want to get the best out of Mainu, Dorgu, Rasmus, then you need to be able to put them on the bench when they're not performing. Now, obviously, we can't do that with Rasmus because we've got no strikers, but we can do that with Garnacho now, and it could benefit him being back on the bench, knowing that when he comes on in the second half, he's got to deliver. Otherwise, he might not be involved in the final. So I think this is really good, and obviously you want to see that with Dorgu and everybody else as well. So I think that is a positive that maybe people don't see, but is also a really, really important thing as well. I tell you what, I'm in agony tonight. I reckon, I've got to be honest, don't know whether anyone's had any hip problems. I know we're a community here and we talk about mental health and we talk about physical health, and, you know, there's a lot of people who share what's going on in their lives, births, deaths, marriages. We are a community. I'm really, for 3 weeks, been really struggling with my left hip, and it ain't getting any better. I think I'll have to go doctors, and I'm a bit worried because I've had problems with it for like 20 years, and I'm thinking this might be hip replacement territory. I don't know whether anyone's... I'm a hipster. Well, I've always been a hipster, but I've also got a hip injury. Yeah, so I don't know anyone's got any experience of that, but it's absolute agony all the time. My dad had a hip replacement last year, but he's like late 60s, and it's quite a painful thing. I don't want that in my early 30s. I'm too young. Kendrew says, sorry, it's been a tough season, but thank you for your endless dedication and coverage for United, Mark. Your videos make my days, says Kendrew. Yeah, and I've got to say, look, I've really enjoyed the 10 o'clock shows and the transfer stuff this week, especially when you get a couple of exclusives like we had with Delap and today with Semenyo. So look, hopefully we're going to win on Wednesday and we can have an interesting summer. Here's a pint to help with your hips, says Camden. Thanks, pal. Appreciate that. Would you rather play the double pivot in the final with Bruno playing as a 10 or this setup, says Chiri? I think against Spurs we need to play Agate and Casemiro in for the first half an hour. That's my take on it. I think a lot of people agree with me as well. Looked like Wilcox was getting ranted there by him, says Stephen Willocks, and I'm worried about losing more players today, says Richie. Fair play. Yeah, I am as well. Lee Morris has been a member for 24 months. He says, I'm looking forward to Wednesday. A win is crucial. I wouldn't sack Amrim even if we did lose. He needs a transfer window and a pre-season at least. Spot on. Maybe Ruben is afraid to lose. Orange says there. Get a lacrosse ball. Roll the IT band. Should be roll it band. Should be okay. Roll it where, Swammy? There's a lot of bone there. Oh, that's what she said. Anyway, look, we'll see what happens with that. Do not forget tonight, we've got a little bit of a fun game. If you're UK based and you're over 18, get yourselves on this with Match Bingo. Links in the description or scan the QR code. You get a little, you can get your card by signing up, and there are, you win cash prizes by getting a line across, 2 lines across, or a full house. Now, I've got my card ready. And as I was saying before, you tick stuff off during the Man United versus Chelsea game. So on my card, I've got things like a right-footed goal, shot saved, 4th sub made, free kick, throw in, 1 sub made, yellow card, kick-off taken, direct woodwork hit. So it's all, we'll update my card as it's going through, but it's a fun little game you can play across with Match Bingo as well. Links in the description or scan the QR code. Remember, you've got to be over 18 to play that, but be a good little bit of fun while the game's going on, and very much looking forward to that and the game itself. So check that out with Match Bingo. Thank you very much for them getting involved with the United stand. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with a draw tonight. I think it's got draw vibes across it. Look, honestly, why is Chelsea versus Manchester United just gone blank? Don't know about that. Can we get that checked out? Scorecard. Let me just message someone about that. Yeah, I think with regards to the game, a lot of people are going to say a Chelsea win. I actually think we might end up with a draw today. Yeah, I do. I think we might end up with a draw. And I know some people will be like, what are you talking about? Well, I'm talking about it being a draw. That's what I'm talking about, and I think it might well be. I think United might shock a few people tonight, and that would be, look, Spurs are 0-0 and it's half time. Why have I not started the bloody Man United game? I'm an idiot. I'm watching bloody, oh, I'm such a twat. I'm watching bloody Chelsea. I'm watching Villa against, I've missed a minute and 40. I've missed a minute and 40. What a bloody dickhead. I can't, the scoreboard's broken and I'm watching Villa against Spurs. Oh, I tell you, the guy's an idiot, and that guy's me. Sorry, everybody. Sat there talking about why it's going to be a draw. And good job Chelsea didn't score. Right, United are playing very deep here. Swifty says you've got a bad hip because you're always sat on your bum. Right, I don't know what's going on this here. Let's have a look. Let's get the timer up and running. We're full of gremlins tonight. God. Right, that's going perfect. And we are 2 minutes 40. Bruno's whips a cross in. Oh, I tell you what, it was a good cross just above Rasmus, and Sanchez catches it. Let me go to 57, 58, 59. There we go. 302. Right, what's going on with this bloody scorecard? God knows. No idea what's going on there. We got the reflection in the painting. Sorry, pal. Thank you. Oh, I'm about ready to give up. And my hip's in agony. The scorecard's not working. I better get a full house on Match Bingo. Oh. Thanks everyone who's tuning in anyway. Big shout out to Mickey, our latest member. Let's get a shout out to Mickey. He's just joined the members club. Get your badge in. Thanks for your support. Chelsea on the break here. Here's Cole Palmer. He's had a shit season. You can guarantee he'll turn up against Man United. Nice little ball. Should have been 1-0. What a shit bit of defending that would have been. Madueke should have scored, but I think he was offside. Orange says that's going to go straight into Goldbridge's best of. I can't believe I was just sat there missing the first 2 minutes of United watching the Villa game go into stoppage time, not realising, obviously, that if it's going into stoppage time, that means it's 45 minutes after 7:30, which means it's after 8:15, which I knew was the time to kick off for United. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. We'll sort the scorecard out, but it's 0-0 at the moment, but the timer's there. It looks a bit weird, I know, but the timer is there. They are booing Mason Mount as crazy, no surprise there. Mickey, welcome to Members Club. Swifty says you've got a bad hip because you're always sat on your arse, not enough goals to get you on your feet. Do we think this will be the lineup for the final, Mark, says Jack? I pretty much think this might be the lineup for the final, if I'm being completely honest. Yeah. Obviously, I think there's a few of these players that you would know were going to start: Onana, Mazraoui, Maguire. But I think Mount's got a good chance. I think Luke Shaw's going to have a good chance. I mean, look, the interesting thing about Luke Shaw is we haven't spoken about Luke Shaw, but he's been absolutely shit since he came back. And Lindelof's a dodgy player as well. So you got Lindelof and Shaw in a back three. It's a lovely ball by Bruno, and Dorgu will get there. What a ball. Here he is, Dorgu. Into Mount. Casemiro playing the one-touch football again. It's a strange ball by Maguire, but it works. Here's Dorgu. Needs some support. Don't run away from him. And Chelsea will pick that up. But a good, intense start to this game. Make sure you share the video, by the way. 27,000 watching on it this Friday night. Cheers, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Oh, no, not a great cross. One more to go before the final. The score's 0-0. Bruno feeling his side there. Looks a little in pain, says Connor. He's fine. Don't worry about Bruno. I mean, we shouldn't say that because one day he will get injured, but... Columbus, thank you very much for being a member as well. That'll go straight in Goldbridge's best bits, says Orange. Yeah, thank you very much for the super chats, Connor. We'll read those out. In fact, Devanshu says, as a doctor hip replacement, it's quite rare at this age, barring arthritis disorder, which I don't think you have. Mate, I'm just in absolute agony. You know, when it started, honestly, this is going to sound really bad, but I was sweeping up outside and obviously moving off my left hip. And it's just not been the same since. And now whenever I play football or when I go to sleep, it's just hurting all the time. Right in the actual hip area. Are you coming to Norway one time, says Krista? I'm sure I will do, yes. What, Oslo the place to go first? Here's Mazraoui down the right-hand side. United have started off quite well. Ahmad wants a handball. Not going to get it. Yeah, I love how Astro's saying scoreboard, like, yeah, mate, and Liam, you haven't noticed something we haven't spoken about. So the scoreboard we're working on, we haven't got one at the moment, but we have got a timer because that's done manually. Richard Cahill says, did Mount even push to move? I thought it was the club. I don't really know, and I don't really care. I think if they'd given him the money, Bruno's had a really good start here, but he's been caught late by Enzo on the foot. And he stayed down. Just bear with me for a moment because Bruno getting injured would be very unlikely, but he's up okay. Mark, who would you say is United's second best signing after Bruno since Sir Alex? Also booked a holiday off work for the final and I'm buzzing, says Ilya. That's a good question, that, you know. I would say in the last 10 years, our best signing other than Bruno... Oh, God. Ahmad. Here is Ahmad into the box. Lost it, though. Overdid it. Well in, Casemiro. And well won back by Ahmad. I mean, there's been a few. I think Ander Herrera did okay. Some of the new signings this time have looked all right as well. Michael Oliver's the referee, isn't he? Right, I was just typing away there because I've just the lads have worked on. We've got an issue with our stats provider. That's why the scorecard's not working. So it updates itself, but I've just been told that we've got a manual one that we can get on the screen. So if you bear with me a moment, this is the work behind the scenes by our production team, which is great. There we go. We'll have one now. Bear with. Apologies, everybody. We are and always have been innovative on this channel. But sometimes live content can give you issues. But that's a bit big. That's what she said. That's massive. That's massive, Mark. I'm used to that. Let me go with fit to screen. There we go. So we've got that. Maguire's just caught a challenge there as well. We don't want no bloody injuries. So why are you there? I don't know why you're there. I need numbers. Oh, I've got no idea where the numbers are. Oh, I need to tidy this up. There we go. That should be it. Let's have a go with you. There we go. Don't panic. It's not 4-0. It's not what it looks like. People are like, what have I turned into? Goldbridge is very chilled out. Oh. This is a joke. This is annoying. It's my own fault for not tidying up. It's like your desktop. Who has a desktop where they don't tidy it up? Some people are very anal about it. I just leave shit on there for ages and then stuff like this happens. Here we go. I need it down next to there. It's alright, nothing's happening in the game. I've played the game. I'm enjoying panicking people that it's 4-0 to Chelsea. It's not 4-0. If I see another person say, is it really 4-0? No. It's not 4-0. It's going to be 0-0 very quickly. Here we go. 0-0. Okay, that'll just have to do. They're slightly off centre, but sod it. So yeah, not a bad start by United. 30,000 watching. You're absolute legends, and I'm in absolute agony. There's actually people in the chat who I think are giving banter, going 4-0, liquidate the club. As an Arsenal fan, I hope your team wins the Europa League, says Green Fire. I presume Arsenal are Man United fans. Well, not Man United fans, but you do want us to win. I mean, you're not going to want Spurs to win, are you? I'm curious, when you're doing a watch-along, how many people are working behind the scenes, says Nemanja. 1 or 2. Yeah, normally 1 or 2. Juan Mata did okay, says 5 Cantonars. Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Yes, that's from Profit. Some people just saying who's the second best signing over the last 10 years after Bruno. Krista's just gifted 5 memberships, by the way. So 5 of you are new members because of Krista. So make sure you put a W in the chat. Edie says, I cannot wait for the Europa League final. Looking forward to your shouting. Would you play Heaven if the lit is not back, says JD. I think it's unlikely unless he comes on. Oh, Ahmad picks it up. And Mount had made a really good run and he ignored it. This is something that they've got to work on. Like, I like Ahmad. He's certainly better than Garnacho, but I still think it's head down sometimes. Dorgu. Handball! Why did no one appeal for a handball? It looked like it is. I mean, I've seen... If that hits his hand, that looked like it hit his hand. Why did no one appeal for that? Must not have hit his hand. I thought it hit his hand. Can't have hit his hand. Can't have hit his hand. 4-0 in 10 minutes. Arteta out, says Liam. Are you happy with the team? Let's hope there's no injuries. You've sort of answered the question, Sharwin. I don't mind the team. It was nowhere near his hand. I didn't think it did hit his hand because no one complained. Anyway, corner to United. Come on, Harry. It's not a bad cross. Headed away. We've been as good as them so far. Chelsea looking a little bit nervous here. How am I doing on my match bingo anyway? Is anyone else playing along? Because I want to win this. Let's have a look what I've got. I haven't had any. I've not had a goal. Throw in. We've had a throw in. I've got one of them. Kick-off taken. I've got that. Goal kick taken. I've had that. We haven't had any saves yet. Goal! We've got a goal! It's Harry Maguire! Oh! I bet Seb's gone to bed. Seb! Maguire has scored! I bet he's gone to bed. He's got a tournament tomorrow. There he is. Harry Maguire, stick him up front. What a goal. What a finish. I tell you what, Lewandowski is in tears. He can't believe that finish. Absolutely brilliant. Chelsea are shocked. Well, they shouldn't be shocked. I tell you what, they call him Harry Maguire, but he gives Alan Shearer bloody nightmares. Look at this for a finish. Who puts the cross in? It's going to be Bruno, isn't it? It's Bruno. Ooh. He's offside. He's offside. What a finish. And he's offside. It's such a good finish, but I reckon he's offside. Oh. Look at that. Look at the stare into the camera, mate. I reckon he's offside. I do. Unfortunately. Yeah, it's just such a shame. I hate VAR. I really do. Nothing goes our way, does it? Yeah, offside. 0-0. Bollocks. Guess what part of his body's offside? His knee, his forehead, and his arm. And his toe. No goal. What a shame. That should be given. There should be rules against that. If a centre-back is offside by that much, it should be given. I think if you're up front, you can be off, I think if you're a centre-forward, you can be offside by an inch because it's your job. But if you're a centre-back, you should be allowed. Percy says, were you disappointed when your son said that Maguire was his favourite player? Absolutely not. You shouldn't manipulate your kids into who their favourite players are. Although I did buy him a Ronaldo kit. Good staying afresh, but if it goes 120 minutes, Spurs win. Joseph, I hope that's a joke. Oh, 120 minutes next Wednesday, yeah. That's bullshit. As the Chelsea player arm plays him on, says Ben Jones. Yeah, but there's only a certain part of your arm that is offside, isn't it? I think it's from the sleeve. Thank you, Joseph. Mark, be careful with your hip. My mate had the same problem and a week later he got hit by a car. Get better soon. Paddy, how's a bad hip going to increase my chances of getting hit by a car? I suppose if you slow across the road. Look, United have started off quite well here. Chelsea a little bit shaky. I want to see if we can. I mean, look, it's not massively relevant for us, but let's Let's have a look at the league table as it stands. Villa are drawing as well, so Chelsea and Villa at the moment would be on the same points, but obviously if Villa win, they'd go ahead of Chelsea. So we could have a big part, us and Spurs, in the Champions League race tonight. Here's Madueke. Good tackle, Casemiro. And very quick by Mason Mount in on Enzo there. Ben Jones wasn't happy about that offside. Well, it's a shame. That's all I can say. It's a shame because it was such a good finish by Maguire, but rules are the rules. As Ryan says, there was a player with his arm out, but they didn't show him. What's that about? Because not all of your arm is counted as offside. Look, we've looked all right at the start of this game. I'm not saying we'll win. Remember last season we thought we were going to win and we conceded 2 goals in stoppage time. So Chelsea are obviously going to push it, but they don't look particularly in control so far. We've started off quite well, so there seems to be a bit of an intensity to United. Imagine Maguire's legacy if never given the captaincy, says Jide. If Rashi had Maguire's character for that comeback, says Parker. Are you following the Diddy case, says Steve? No. The hair on his toe was off, says Tumbleweed. And am I wrong with the rules, but another Chelsea player had the hand extended further than Harry, so was it really offside, says I'm Java. As I understand it, you can't... not all of your arm is classed as offside. I think it's from the sleeve up. Did they not want to check the player behind him? Says Slow Sports News. Good take by Dorgu here into Bruno. Back into Dorgu. Right, he's got plenty of time to put the cross in here. Into Mount. And he's at a stretch, and that'll go for a goal kick. I can remember last season Seb giving Maguire a pep talk and supporting him when everyone else wanted him out. Good on you for nurturing that. Big up, Seb. Says, he often talks about that, Gummy. He often talks about that. I remember him coming on stream and doing that as well. Mark, please be careful with your hip. My mate had a bad hip, and a week later he was bitten by a venomous spider, says Lee. I'm loving all these stories, yeah. Please be careful with your bad hip. My mate had a bad hip, and a week later... his dad had an affair with Pamela Anderson. How many Malbecs you drinking on Wednesday, Mark? Says Sanchez. I need to get the bottle in. I need a really good bottle. I'm not getting another Gary Barlow bottle because I did think he would have seen that and sent me a crate of wine. I've heard nothing, so we'll try something a little bit different. I might go back to the Leon one. Actually, I might go to the Gary Barlow one because that was a comfortable win. The Leon one was hard work. Do you guys think Villa win? I have Multi to win, says Gurav. Villa need to win. Against Spurs reserves, they need to win. Chelsea need to win against us as well. Would you put Harry Maguire up front in the final, says Kyle? Absolutely not. Well played, Bruno. I'd put him up front in the last 10 minutes if we're losing 1-0, but I wouldn't put him up front from minute 1 against Van der Ven and Romero. It would be a bloody nightmare. Green Fire says, what footballer can you see with so much potential? Bruno. Well in. Look, one thing I will say, it's been a steadier start from Luke Shaw. I think he's been so bad recently that maybe it was a sharpness thing. He's going to get injured any minute, isn't he? We all know that. But when he's fit, if he can get back, he's an important player. Playing decent, says Tamara. I think we've done all right, yeah. Is Son injured yet? We can't wish for that. Oh, shot there from Reece James, just goes wide. Eddie says, be careful, I got a hip injury and my girlfriend cheated on me with my best friend. Well, I can sort of understand that, though, because if you've got a hip injury, there's a lot of grinding involved, isn't there? And maybe if your wife got frustrated. I tell you what, Reece James, that was a bloody good shot. Hit the bloody post. People talk about Ahmad down. Ahmad's absolutely fine. Don't listen to people in the chat. Can we just get rid of them? Christian says, careful with your hip, Mark. My mate had a hip problem, and then 2 days later, he supported Arsenal. Rasmus should man Mark Casido like Park on Perlo, says Huge Lad. And Nick J says, you should check out Atlas Correction Therapy for your hip. It has helped me loads, as well as a lot of people I know. Keep being awesome. There we go. "25 minutes gone. Decent start by Manchester United. We've definitely been the better side so far. But Harry Maguire scored a very good goal, marginally offside. Chelsea haven't really done anything apart from that very good shot from Reece James, which hit the post. But that would have been a worldie. Ahmad's absolutely fine. Be careful with your bad hip. My mate had a bad hip, and a week later, United signed him at 250k a week, says Collie. Absolutely brilliant. Love that. Cyber Spider says, careful, Mark, with your hip. My friend had bad hip, and a week later, he was forced to watch the Snow White movie with a crying kid in front. Apparently, that film's absolutely shit, isn't it? I guess Sir Jim asked to play Team A to beat Bowley, says Jawad. Well, yeah, I mean, remember we spoke about this a few weeks ago when we revealed that about the Delap story. United are weirdly obsessed with Chelsea. Yeah. This ref is letting a few dodgy challenges go, says Ash. Do you think we need who do you think we need more, an experienced striker or a goalkeeper, says Lucas? 100% the striker. Yeah, 100% the striker. Akin says, you're not paying attention. Ahmad was down. He's absolutely fine. Just because somebody goes down for a minute, that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at whether they stay down. He's fine. Anyway, I think we should all pray for the guy who's not cutting his hair until Man United win 5 games in a row. He can't... he messaged me the other day. He lives in Spain. And Man United physically can't win 5 games in a row before August. So he's living in Spain without a haircut. His aircon bill's going to go through the roof. Terrible take by Bruno there. But good interception by Casemiro. Now it's Cole Palmer. Steps away. Block. Corner. On match bingo, to complete my line, I need right foot goal awarded and a card given with in 8 in it. So 8th or 18th or 28th minute. Well, I'll probably get a right foot goal. Would have had it with Maguire. We haven't had a yellow card yet, have we? Well done, Mazraoui in the back post. Close it down. They're asking for a red card. They're asking for a handball. They're asking for a handball, Chelsea. On Rasmus. He looks a bit nervous. I think that's a natural hand movement there. It does hit him on the hand, but you know, his hand's sort of down on his side. I don't think that's a handball. I wouldn't be surprised if VAR gives it, but where else are you supposed to put your hand? Yeah, not given. Never, definitely never. Never a handball. Shut up, Enzo, you moaning little shit. Well, Chelsea can shut up because I remember a couple of years ago. Was it Hudson-Odoi? Worse than that, we didn't get a bloody penalty. Nathan says, I'm not going to lie, that's a penalty. That's just your Rasmus agenda, though, Nathan. That can't be a penalty because he can't put his hand anywhere else. You can't run with you can't run with your hands down by your side. Not a penalty. Probably would be a penalty in Europe. Well, in Dorgu, game's getting opened up a little bit now. Do you think Neto has flopped at Chelsea, says Mike? I like Neto. I just think he's a bit hot and cold, Mike. That's a lovely cross. Well up by Mazraoui. He's having a good game. Well flicked on by Mount and Rasmus. Who would your ideal win-back signing be with Frimpong going to Liverpool? I think we've just lost him, Ollie. He would have been an ideal player. Tuchel's at the match. Who do you think he's watching, says Daniel? Probably Mount. He loves Mount, doesn't he? If you split Gyökeres's stats in half, he's still world class, says Dizzy. Is there a meetup in Atlanta? My partner Sprite, as I've said before, watches because you're hilarious, wants to meet you and Beth, says Gummy. I don't know whether I'm going, but I certainly think Beth and Ryan will be going over for the tour. I don't know about myself yet. There's a couple of things that we're sort of working on at the moment. So, will Lord Maguire get back in the England squad? Oh yeah, of course he'll be watching Maguire. Maguire will get back in, yeah. Yellow card for Bruno. What? Why are they chasing a red card? It's just not a red card. He kicks the ball. Nah. Never a red. In real time, that's just a genuine attempt to kick the ball. Need to calm down. I mean, look, I understand it from Chelsea's point of view. They desperately need a win, don't they? So a dodgy red or a dodgy handball, but come on. Have a bit of class. Villa have just scored against Spurs. Villa 1-0 up. Let's have a look at this. It's from a corner. Konza. I mean, look, if you were playing this Spurs team in the final, you'd love to get some corners because it's shite defending. But as we know, most of these players will not be playing in the final. And 1-0 to Villa. They need the points. That Spanish man became Chewbacca with this squad, says Oscar. Archie official, thank you very much. We've looked in control. Bruno and Casemiro for the final. The trouble with Spurs, with the likes of Sarr, Bentancur and Bissouma, that's a lot of energy in the midfield to play 3 attacking midfielders out of 4. That's my concern with it. Does Europa League make up for 15th and 17th in the Premier League, says JMDB? I get the question, mate, but it's not really one I want to answer because it's an irrelevance. The Premier League is going to be our worst ever Premier League season ever. And if we win the Europa League, then we're in the Champions League and we get money. So he can't do that, Cole will. Edge of the box, Casido, he likes a shot. Well blocked by Ahmad. Cole Palmer, watch out. Don't give him space. Well done, Maguire. I know he's young, but Dorgu always seems a step slow to react defensively, says Manjula. Any truth to Rodrigo to Man United rumours, says Kay? Absolutely no. Wheelbarrow says that would be a handball in Europe. And what has happened to Cole Palmer form lately, says Pedon. Second season syndrome, isn't it? I think he's got a lot of expectation. And he's become Chelsea's marked man. Villa are up to 4th as things stand, and Chelsea are out of the top 5. So they need to turn it on here. Do you still suffer from allergies, or did you get the Demister you were recommended? Can't wait for Wednesday. All of you keep up the good work, says Seamus. I have got control of my allergies, actually. I use Beckinase spray in the morning and also Alevia as a tablet, and it's really helped. Really has helped. But I have to remember to take it because I do suffer with them. Maguire's been really good so far. Maguire and Mazraoui been really good. Really good. Neil Osborne, thank you for being a member for 2 months. Lovely take by Mason Mount. That should be a foul. Do you hate any other player more than Enzo, says Varron? And yet I don't hate Enzo. Good to see Steady, Maguire and Lindelof, says Tom. Well, Lindelof's been all right. I mean, look, I was talking about this. Like, Lindelof, there's a if you can be good, you might get to play in a final, you know? And also, if you can be good on a free transfer, you'll get yourself a good move as well. There is no agenda. I played the game, says Wavy. I don't know who you're talking about, Wavy. Watching from Bangkok, says Tony. Spurs are losing, yes, Joseph. Konza. Dorgu's just been skinned. And Onana catches the cross. Yeah, Neto sent Dorgu back to Lecce there. But the cross was crap. Chelsea showing Tottenham the blueprint. Increase the tempo and United is struggling, says Marlowe. Gary Beattie says Cole Palmer's problem is that haircut. There's Todd Bowley. Or as I call him, Tard. You just say T-A-R-D and then it sounds like you're saying Todd in American. So I call him Tard. T-A-R-D. Makes it sound like you're saying Todd in American. How you doing, Tard? Ahmad's been put for poor, says Adim. He's just coming back from injury, though, isn't he? Based on this, Ahmad shouldn't start next week. Needs to try and find a pass instead of constantly taking on players, says Andy Radford. Look, I've said this about Ahmad before. I really like Ahmad, but some people are immune to the fact that he doesn't pass sometimes as much as Garnacho. He can ignore the pass, and he has to find the pass. You're right. It's like everybody. I'm 1 away from winning on match bingo. I don't know why. Oh, I know. I've got it here. I'm 1 away from winning. Let's have a look. That's not my card. No, that's someone in my chat telling me that they're 1 away from... Oh, what's going on here now? Yeah, all sorts of gremlins in the system here. Don't know what's going on. Don't know what's going on there. I was watching the pre-show. Would you rather have Martinez or Yoro start next season, says Lucas. I'd rather have Martinez because he's left-footed and put Yoro to the right because he's right-footed. Dan says Mount and Casemiro have been good. I think. Look, there's a couple of performances that could be better, but I think all in all, it's we've been the better side. Why does Onana keep hitting long balls to Rasmus, says Ryan? I think some of you are getting way too stressed about performance. The big game's on Wednesday. I'm quite chilled. I hear what people are saying about Rasmus, and I hear what people are saying about Ahmad, and I hear what people are saying about Onana, but they're all going to start in the final, and we don't have any alternatives. So I'm just sort of like, look, in general, the team performance has been quite good. Take the positives. I prefer Ahmad at wing-back and Mazraoui at centre-back, says Kumaz. Jason, I don't hate any player, so waste of time asking me what player I hate. There's no fight in this team, says Paul, and yet we've been the better team. I think Mazraoui and Maguire and Lindelof have done well. Shaw and Dorgu have done okay. Bruno and Casemiro have been good. Mount's been good. And Ahmad and Rasmus have been a bit off. Owen says, cheers to everyone, Mark, you and the community. Thanks, pal. Casemiro's been brilliant, says Marshall. Who do you think will be the first player that leaves the club, says Jen? Can I just say, I don't have to get involved in the conversations that you lot are trying to push. I've been doing it for 10 years, and I'm not just going to answer every chat, because it's, one, impossible, and two, I get bored of the same conversation. I've told you about Rasmus. It really just depends what Amrin wants. It doesn't matter what I want or what you want. He'll decide in the summer. He might get rid of him. He might keep him. I don't know. We just have to wait and see. But I will trust Amrin on that. That's my line. That's all I've got to say on it. And ahead of a big final where we haven't got any other striker, I don't really see the point in going, this player's shit, he's absolutely useless, this, that, and the other. Look at my match bingo card. It's filling in quite nicely there. Hopefully I'm going to get a line. But yeah, who do I think will go first? I don't care, mate. Honestly, I don't. I'm thinking about Wednesday night. That's my focus. I'm really excited about it. I'm quite happy with the 40 minutes that we've done against Chelsea. I certainly didn't. I said I had a funny feeling we might get a point. Chelsea really haven't done enough so far, and we've looked okay. So Dorgu's gone down here, though. Oh, he looks all right. Reece James has gone down as well. Do you have any plans to come to the USA next year for the World Cup, says Lucas? Yeah, probably will do. But obviously it's a long way off yet. When is the career mode back, Mark, says Fraser? I don't know. That don't look good for Reece James, the way he's landed there. And he is absolutely made of breadstick. That don't look good for him. I've always said about Reece James, like, he's a really good player, but he's never going to move past the fact that he's made of breadsticks. Like, he's just injured all the time, and he knows it. He's done it. I mean, I hope he can get up, but his whole career just seems to be ruined. Yeah, it looks like an ankle. You can just tell the way he landed. Oh no, maybe might be all right. He's getting up. Really good. I mean, there was a time with Reece James, just talking about football in general, there was a time with Reece James where I felt he was England's best right back because he can defend and he can go forward. But he's just had so many injury problems. He looks like he might be all right here, actually. Gusto's warming up. I'm here now, lads. Just tackle Mount, says Rub. Chelsea fan. Chelsea players are nervous because they're going to face the wrath of Lord Anthony next week, says Sad. Goldbridge wants a line for the bingo. Pass it on, says Greg. Agate, Menu and Garnacho on at half-time for match sharpness, says Harry. I think you've got to look to do that, yeah. Maybe not at half-time, but certainly before 60 minutes. Inquisition says, watching Chelsea buy a bunch of players I would have liked at United over the years and not get Champions League football has been an experience. He's back on Reece James. I mean, I'm actually glad to see that because in a purely footballing sense, he's a good player. I think the fella who's not cutting his hair till United win 5 in a row is playing left-back for Chelsea, says Rossi. And World Padlock says, I wince every time a player goes down. I know who you are now. Just figured it out. Thanks, pal. Hope you're doing well. Manjula says, is there a winger out there you'd prefer to bring in the summer who can pick a pass as an alternative to Amad or Garnacho? What a save by Onana. And I hope Enzo Fernandez was offside because he's just missed an open goal. I think he was. Yeah, he was. Good shot by Cole Palmer, though. Yeah, but you see, that's Onana. Can I just say, that is Onana in an absolute advert. Why is Onana palming it down with 2 hands again? That's a terrible save. It's so weird. It's so weird. It's a good save, but no goalkeeper goes like that with 2 hands and claws it back into play. You're meant to go like this. I think Villa have made it 2-0. Yeah. Tillemans. Is it Tillemans? No. It's not Tillemans. But it is 2-0 to Villa. It was a good save by Onana, but it was just weird. Griffin says, I'm a first-year medical student here in America. I'll be sitting for my last exam of the year at the same time as the Europa League final. Oh, my God, Griffin. Yeah, thoughts are... Well, maybe it's... Some people would say they'd rather be doing something else. But, yeah, thoughts with anybody who is having to do stuff. Onana's trying to get assists, says Wes, when the final was on. Best current Chelsea United combined 11, says JMDP. Don't, mate. I'm not doing it. It's depressing. I can't do combined 11s. I look forward to the days where we can do combined 11s again. Man United don't deserve to be in combined 11s. It's an embarrassment to do a combined 11 with United in the Premier League this season. If we win the Europa League, does Rashford's wages go up? Says Lottie. Good tackle, Dorgu. Yes, they will go up because he's a Man United player and we're in the Champions League. I tell you what, that's good by Dorgu. Really good. Oh, unlucky. The Conference League final is not for another 2 weeks. There's the week after ours. So we play Wednesday and then it's the Wednesday after that for the Conference League, which is Anthony's Betis against Chelsea. I'm going to do a watch-along on That's Football. Team Anthony. If Anthony performs and beats Chelsea, do you think the proof of performance against the Prem team changes his future and how much we could get for him to 7-7 United? Good point. 5 minutes have been added on here. Trying to think why. Probably the offside and the Reece James injury, yes. We've conceded the second most goals from corners, according to this stat on the screen. 11 goals from corners this season. Only Wolves are worse. There won't be a live morning show tomorrow, by the way, because I've got Seb's got a tournament, so it starts at like 9 o'clock. So it'll be a later show tomorrow. There will be one, but he's really pumped up for it. Why does Onana palm it back into danger every time, says Mrs. Stone? Because he's got the worst saving technique I've seen. Oh, don't lose it there, Mount. Good tackle, Casemiro. Corner. Who do you want more, Sunderland or Sheffield United, says Lucas? Probably Sunderland, just for a change. Sheffield United seem to be in and out of the Premier League more than bloody West Brom did were. Where's the Melbeck, says Sam? It's a European team. Corner to Chelsea, right before half-time here. Neto, get it away. Well done, Ahmad. United playing Kurt Angle up front, says IQ. 22 players on the pitch and Harry Maguire only with some grace, says Rub. Mark, should I go to the Celtic game tomorrow or should I go to my older brother's birthday party? What should I do? Celtic lift the cup tomorrow, says Greenfire. Football. If football's more important to you, go to the football. Half time. Mary says, speak about Rasmus, stop indulging this. I've spoken about it and I just find it boring. We've got a cup final on Wednesday. I know loads of you think he's shit, and that's absolutely fine, and that's your opinion, and I've given my opinion, and I don't see why I should be... What's that thing, everybody? You're just trying to gaslight me. Yeah, you're trying to gaslight me. That's what you're trying to do. I've said it. I don't speak for you. I speak for me. I say what I think, and I've already said it. And if you watch the morning show, you already know what I think. Rasmus might get sold in the summer because Amrin might not think he's good enough, or Amrin might think with the pre-season he's young enough for me to do something with it. I'll trust Amrin on it. But on Wednesday, we don't have anybody else. Same with Onana. Why are we not talking about Onana being absolutely rubbish? I mean, look what he's just done again, but we need him to play on Wednesday. So I'm not really interested in the negative undertones about players 5 days before such a big game. I'm actually really excited about Wednesday. I know a lot of people are nervous about it. If I'm being honest, I'm actually getting quite excited. It's unacceptable to lose that game. So I'm not nervous. I'll deal with losing if we lose, but it's unacceptable if we lose that game. We have to win it. We're Manchester United. We've got players that can do it. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking at it in a positive sense. Let's have a look at the stats at half time. I'm getting very close to getting my line in on Match Bingo. Hope you're doing well. If you're playing along with that, scan the QR code and give it a go if you are. If you aren't. So statistically speaking, at half time, let's pause that. So we've had more possession. We haven't had any. Well, we've had one shot. Well, I mean, that's not very good. But then again, I don't really remember many shots they've had apart from the ones from distance. They've had more corners. Look, statistics... This is what I mean about stats. I actually feel like we've been the better team. At best, it's been quite an equal game. But I'm quite happy with that. You know, Spurs are losing 2-0. I'll put it back onto the Spurs game, actually. Spurs are losing 2-0 with their reserves. It's going to be another loss for them, 10 minutes to go. Whereas we're giving them a bit of a game here. We're giving Chelsea a bit of a game, and it's a game they've got to win. I think Maguire's done well. Mazraoui's done well. Lindelof's doing okay. Luke Shaw's doing okay. Dorgu's doing well. Bruno and Casemiro have done well. Mount's done okay. Yeah, Rasmus is having a bad game. I think Ahmad's not doing particularly well. But ultimately, I'm looking at the positives, and there's a lot of positives. And you've got the likes of Garnacho, Agate, Mainu that could come on. So... yeah, I'm quite, you know, in preparation for our biggest game on Wednesday, what we've seen in that first 45 minutes, I'm pretty happy with. We are playing our first team and Spurs are resting players. Why? Amrim's saying we have a bigger problem. Yes, but we have a cup final. Yeah, but Stig, this won't matter as long as we don't get any injuries. I think, obviously, we've got a poll running. What would you have done? Strong team or play reserves? 46% of you have said strong team and 54% of you have said play the reserves. And we've had 30,000 votes on that. So it's not far off being 50-50. And if you would play the kids, then you're not going to be happy. But if you're like me and you're like, I don't mind him going with a strong team if we don't get anybody injured. It's a risk. If we get through and no one's injured, Amrim's right. Because we've picked players that are going to play on Wednesday who are going to have more rhythm than Spurs, who've just been, left not to play for 9 days. So I understand why Ange's done it, and you could have done it the same. But really, if we can keep this going in the second half and come out with a result against the Chelsea side, look, I think what Amrim's doing here is, if we don't get beat by Chelsea, those players can walk off the pitch going, Chelsea are better than Spurs. Chelsea need to win that game to get in the Champions League, and we've not been beaten by them. It gives you confidence going into that final. So there's risks, aren't there? But, I was listening to Amrim talking about Jose Mourinho in the final against Ajax, and he said Mourinho used Fellaini because he knew that Ajax were going to press high up the pitch. They scored a lot of goals from winning the ball up high up the pitch. So he used Fellaini to, go beyond the press and win the ball high up the pitch with Fellaini's control. And Amrim said, that was specific to that final to counter Ajax's ability to win the ball high up the pitch. It was a very clever thing to do. This is what the big managers do. They take calculated risks. And Van der Ven and Romero haven't played at all. Is that a good thing? Is it? They're fresh, but are they sharp? Ermi says you're being delusional. I don't know what. Great statement. Thanks for the super chat. Don't know what I'm being delusional about. Off topic, but if you make it to Philly this summer, get a cheese steak at Angelo's. No, not Pat's or Gino's. Sounds lovely, Ben. I would like us to play a part in Chelsea not going to the Champions League. That can be beneficial for us in the transfer market, says Faisal. The Delap Derby. Yes. Never thought of that. Not tonight, anyway. As nice as Forest getting Champions League next season, a stronger team is more crucial for us if we somehow get into the top 5, as unrealistic as it is, says Dylan. A tornado just dropped in St. Louis and it knocked out my power, so I missed most of the game and almost got blown away. How was the first half, says Nelson. Well, I hope that you're okay, Nelson, which you are, because you've just done a super chat. Look, story of the game, not much goalmouth action, but considering we've lost 17 games in the Premier League this season and a lot of them have been at Old Trafford, that's a reasonably decent first half from Manchester United. Of course, it could be better, but it's not too bad. And that's what I would say about that. I certainly think if we can move through it without any injuries, we won't be in a bad position because it's 5 days till the final. I miss Xerxes, says Henry. What tournament is Seb doing, Mark? I wish him luck. I don't actually know what tournament it is. They've got a good coach for their team, and although it's the end of the season, he wants to try and get them playing in a lot of tournaments because they're going from 5-a-side to 7-a-side next year. So they're a good little team. So I'm looking forward to it tomorrow. We are playing our first team and Spurs resting players, says Stig. Thank you very much for your super chats, by the way. Keep them coming in. We'll read those. The club's falling apart. My mental health has been affected, says Tariq. And, well, don't let it get you down too much, mate. We're in a cup final on Wednesday. And as I said the other day, in my whole life, and I'm in my mid-40s, I've only seen 7 European finals for Manchester United. So they come around about once every 6 years. So don't get too down. It's not... Don't take next Wednesday for granted, is what I'm trying to say. Don't get too miserable listening to the negative people. These European finals don't come around very often. The Premier League has been horrible, but anybody who's trying to dismiss the Europa League can do one because they don't actually come around that often. So look forward to it and ignore the miserable people out there because they're going to be miserable no matter what. In fact, I think some of them actually want us to lose that on Wednesday. I'm really excited about Wednesday. Hope you're well. To all the doubters in the room, if you actually have played the game, you would rather have minutes in the legs than lay off so long like Spurs players, says Lee Cape Town. Good point. It's just the risk, isn't it, Lee? It's that risk of injury. Do you think Amrin will make a lot of changes before the second half, says Marlowe? I think some people, I think some people will have to come off, is my thought. Marlowe, Mazraoui, Maguire, Casemiro, Ahmad. I think those players will come off definitely around 60 minutes. Chelsea are crap. Our players will be sharp on Wednesday, says Daniel. Am I the only one bricking it every time someone goes down, says Steve? I think we're all in that. Yeah, we're all like that. Why can't we play like this in every game? All the players look confident. Football is all about confidence. We win this Europa League, says just a. We really shouldn't play a striker in the final, says Matthew. Can you say hello to my mum, Alison, says Marcus. Not the first time. No, I'm only joking. Hello, Alison, from Marcus is there. I would like us to play a part in Chelsea. Not doing it. Look, let me tell you about the final. How are you all feeling about the final at the moment? Because we can talk about Reece James hitting the post and Maguire's brilliant goal just being offside by an inch. But the reality is, we all know for us, this is a warm-up. For Chelsea, this is a game they need to win to get in the Champions League. For us, it's a warm-up for next Wednesday. I think after the Bilbao game, for about a week, I was really nervous. Like, really nervous. Thinking about the enormity of the game, how it's a flip of the coin, etc. And then, I think, I went out in Manchester on Wednesday with the lads, and Kulusevski got injured. And it was just a night of drinking and talking football. And then yesterday, I just started to feel a little bit more confident. And then today, I'm excited and determined. And I don't think that's going to change now. I'm fully aware we can lose the game. I've seen Man United. I've been excited and determined. 09, I was absolutely excited, determined. I had a T-shirt that said the Italian job on it. It had the little minis on. It was a Man United official T-shirt. I was convinced we were going to win the game. And we lost. So just because I'm confident and determined doesn't mean we will win, because obviously anything can happen in football. But remember, I have said since January we're going to win the Europa League, and I know for a fact people have got clips in their drafts, they've got tweets in their drafts. So I have to stick with that anyway, of course. But I'm not just doing that out of determination. I've had a feeling. Sometimes you've got a feeling that your name's on the trophy. I do have that feeling. But also, I just think it's unacceptable to lose to Spurs next Wednesday. I think I'm like Mini Brew, bring it on. That's how I feel. I'm like, it's unacceptable to lose on Wednesday. This season is unacceptable from Manchester United. You've got to take all your anger, all your hurt, all your love, and let it explode on Wednesday night, as Rocky Bilbao would say. Rocky Bilbao, yes, that's a great thing. We have. And whilst I know that we could lose the game, I'm confident that we will win it, and I'm confident that we'll approach it with the right mindset. And I think if we can get through this second half without any injuries and a good result, I think it's one-upmanship, because Ange has basically bottled it today. He's thrown this game to play his reserves and protect his players, whereas Amorim has gone to London against a good Chelsea side and picked his strongest team. And if we come through it without any injuries and a good result, I think psychologically that's one up for us. So let's see what the second half has got to bring, because it's going to be very interesting. Grave says, lads, it's Spurs. Here's sponsorship for the Melbeck on Wednesday, mate, says Andy Atherton. Well, I'll tell you what, Andy, that bottle of Melbeck is now at least a £20 bottle, as per Andy Atherton. I need to write this down. Andy Atherton. £20 Melbeck. Look, if anyone else wants to make contributions to the Melbeck, I might end up with a £100 bottle here. You know, you can get wine at £100, so, you know, it could keep moving up. But Andy Atherton, thank you very much. Lads, it's Spurs, says Grave Mind. If we lose, I'm not studying for my finals, says SHZ. You bloody well are. Don't let United be the reason you failed at your exams. Why is tennis on? What's tennis on for? Hey! Now they've got rugby on. What's going on? Has anyone else got tennis and rugby coming on instead of United? No. There we go. It's back now. I think Onana and Rasmus are the weak points, says Devraj. I think you need to just chill out, mate, and stop being so bloody negative. It's a massive game on Wednesday. They're going to play. Just get on with it. Get behind the team. We can't change it until the summer. Just get behind the team. Lee Berman says, let's make it a £25 bottle. Thank you, Lee. It's moving up. I need to write this down. 25. I fly from Berlin to Manchester, says Ben. I take off same time as kickoff and land by final whistle. How many Melbecks would you recommend, says Ben? What are you doing flying at the same time as the final? How are you going to watch it? Can you do that on a plane? We play bad, some fans shout Amrim out. We play good, some fans shout Amrim out. Are they really United fans, says Kevin? Of course they're not. They've realised that they get traction by being negative, so they won't stop being negative. From Texas, saying in it, same as you, saying y'all, says Javier. Match sharpness is the difference between Shaw now and 2 weeks ago. I tell you what, it's a great comment, Inquisition. We've honestly spoken about this on the community, and this is why I love it. I've always been a very big advocate of Luke Shaw, even against the haters. I think he's one of the best left backs in Europe when he's fit. But since he's come back from this huge injury layoff, and let's be real, it's probably 2 years really, he's been absolute shit. Really bad. This first half has been his best half of football since he's come back. And it hasn't been groundbreaking. It's been okay, but it's not been shit. So if he can get his sharpness back and stay fit, then that's going to be a real help for us, isn't it? But the thing with Luke Shaw is you're only ever 1 second away from an injury. Here's a tenner towards the wine, says Glenn C. God, it's going up. It's going up. I'll keep writing it down. We're up to 35. Thanks, Glenn. Are any teams looking at Dumfries? I feel he's too good of a player not to look at, says Sebastian. I don't believe Dumfries is leaving Inter, mate. United win today. Watching GNR live tomorrow and a United win on Wednesday. This has potential for an awesome 6 days, says Delon. Thank you very much, pal. Look at all De Gea's saves. 99% is with an outstretched right arm, says Nathan. It's just a weird technique, it is, but, we need him to have a worldie on Wednesday. Football works in cycles. We will be back, says Henny. Here you go, Mark. Enjoy the bottle, says Daily Hibbert. Oh, my God. This is going to be the best bottle of Malbec ever. I'm writing the names down so I can shout you out on Wednesday when we taste it. My dad's favourite red is Malbec. Have a tenner for a nice bottle, says Jimmy Kubo. Duncan, welcome to the Members Club. Thanks for getting the badge in. Let's give him a shout out. Jeffrey Wong as well has said, go for a damn Italian Merlot instead. I'm not changing to Merlot, Jeffrey. I do like a Merlot, but Malbec is what we've been drinking in the last few rounds. If I change to a Merlot for the final and we lose, it will be my fault. Like, I've got to play my part. I'm hoping the weather's going to drop a little bit as well because we need a bit of... I need to get that hoodie on. What's he booking Maguire for there? Casemiro. Oh, he's booking Casemiro. Ian says, show the Malbec, Mark. Thanks, Ian. Let Mark get better wine, says Ashley. I want to see the replay on this Casemiro foul. He obviously did do it. Chelsea got to go for it in this second half here. Chris Summer says, put this towards a 2009 vintage bottle of Gary Barlow vintage Malbec. Watching you on the Peloton bike, says Chris. Chris, love that. Tell you what I've been doing today. I don't know whether anybody's played it. I've got one of those, what do they call them? You put them right on your head. Oculus Quest, whatever things. VR sets. I use it for like, there's some good stuff you can do on there, like, say, just if you fancy a little bit of 10-minute sort of cardio. Somebody recommended Thrill of the Fight 2. Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. You actually step backwards and forward, throw punches and everything. It knackers the crap out of you as well. It's really good. Don't know whether anyone's played that, but I always wanted to get a Peloton, but I just don't think I'd get the use out of it. £5 here, says Smelts. Enjoy the Merlot. Thank you, Smelts. I'm writing all these people down so I can shout them out on Wednesday when we show it you. Here's a contribution to some replacement apple juice as well, says Benners. You're a legend, mate. Love me a bottle of Chianti, says Christian Goss. Well, I hope there'll be plenty of you drinking. Look, if you are a red wine advocate, I hope plenty of you will be... What's going on here? Told him to take his wristband off. What's all this about? What? Can anyone tell me what's going on in this game at the moment? So he's told Rasmus to take his wristband off and then he won't let him back on the pitch for the free kick. I mean, this ref's just a bloody job's worth. What if they score from this bloody free kick? So he's done a drop ball. Rasmus is back on now. For the wine from Timmy, says Porik. Thank you very much, Porik. Or Patrick. Or Patrick, actually. I don't know what I'm talking about there. Who's ready for if we lose on Wednesday for people to make it about selling McTominay, says Jude. Oh, yeah, I'm sure people will. Mark, we know what you really use the VAR headset for. Can you do that, Dates? I mean, I'm very innocent. Melbeck purchase is going to be epic, says Mitchell Hunter. Another £5 towards your Merlot. Melbeck, Danny. Look, it's been a really good thing for us. So if you are into your red wine, get yourself a Malbec on Wednesday. Roger Levi's given us a tenner for it as well. You missed mine and Ian's chat, says Liam. I am trying to watch a game of football at the moment, mate. I don't just sit there reading the chats. I go back through them. So apologies for that. But there's a game of football going on as well, Liam. So I don't just sit there reading super chats. I'll go back through them and read them. Here's Ahmad. Into the box. Good run. Pass, pass, pass. Mason Mount. Oh, that would have been a goal against his old club. He does miss a few sitters, Mount, doesn't he? I've noticed that in the last 2 years. Did he used to do this at Chelsea fans? Because he gets into good positions, but he does sometimes, in a red shirt, miss the target. Yeah, miles off. Miles off. Here's for the Gary Barlow mark, says Greg Donald. I wish my wife went down as fast as Bruno did. Wish my wife went down as fast as Bruno did, says Bo F1. He got so excited, he said it twice. Victor says, go get that bottle. We need to celebrate on Wednesday. We're getting a bloody cigar here at the moment. This ref's losing control here. This referee always loses control. He's just got that face like a rabbit in the headlights. Villa have beaten Spurs 2-0. AE says, here's for the Melbeck mark from New York City. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you to Christian Goss. Smelts. Thank you to Mitchell Hunter. Irish Miami Jimmy says, since my brother passed last year, you've been great. Well, it's great to have you as part of the community, mate. And as I say, it's an amazing community. It's not just about the football. I think we share and grow together, don't we? So thank you for being part of the community. Thank you to Chris, Jimmy Kudo, off the post. $5 towards the wine. Keep up the good work. What a genuine bloke. Thank you. Off the post. Hope you're doing well. I've just finished work for the evening, says Mike. Big up, Mark, and the best community on YouTube and the legendary mods. What a nice message. Make it 27, says Timeless Tales from Ellen. Thank you very much. I'll add $5 to the Malbec bottle from Oklahoma, USA. It's only Spurs, says Rod. Make it 30 bottle now. My love for this club is something I'll never let go of. My granddad's ashes are scattered at Old Trafford, says Sean Murray. I was at Old Trafford the other day. I mean, there's things like that as well about Old Trafford as well, isn't it? Like people who've had those bricks put down, people who've had their ashes scattered, and they're knocking it down. Rob's giving me £2 for some Maltesers to complement the Malbec. Well, I don't know about Maltesers and Malbec, mate, but I'll give them to Seb. He's staying up on Wednesday night, so he will be making cameos. Liam says, doesn't have to be for Wednesday, but my family makes some award-winning wine. It's called Mid LV. I'm going to Google that while we're live. A relaxed, family-friendly farm known for its hospitality and special farm atmosphere in South Africa. There we go. 4.5 stars. A Shiraz. Sounds lovely. There we go. Always like to shout people out. Thank you, Liam. Chelsea are pushing a lot more in this second half. Should be subs o'clock soon, really. The trouble is, though, it's typical, isn't it? We start thinking about subs, but then we're like, if we make the subs, will it impact the result? And we probably do deserve a result. Here we go. Have a look. The pass Mount! Oh, for fuck's sake. Why did he not pass that then? Why did Mount not play that through then? Look at this there. Goes wide right. The IQ of some of these players is weird. Really weird. Dom Perignon for a United win. Europa League says Oscar. Put this towards your bottle, mate, says Wig. Make sure the jumper's out too. All the best. Yes. I don't know what the weather's going to be next Wednesday. I'll have a look. £21. Might be too hot for a hoodie. It will be, but the temperature might drop by the evening. I'll put it. I'll tell you what. I'll be hot. I don't care. Here's Ahmad. Here's 1 inch to go with the Melbeck, says 1 inch wonder. Whoop says here's something for Seb. Beryl's just sent me an email about the hip. I'll look forward to reading that. Bo, Spurs beat on Wednesday. I'll buy you a second bottle of wine. Thanks, pal. Not surprising you miss chances when you never get full sharpness. Mount needs a few starts without falling apart, says Amir. Wasn't it Emery who beat us in the last final, says Jed? I imagine it probably was Villarreal, yeah. Go on, Bruno. Ryan says, Casemiro is a walking red with 1 foot in retirement. Surely start Agate. Can't risk a bias approach in the middle. Won't be able to do a Leon if it's 10 men, says Ryan. Sarr is doubtful for Spurs on Wednesday, says Dylan. Why? Is that true? Yeah. Papi Sarr headed straight down the tunnel with a member of the medical staff. I mean, that's incredibly bad luck, isn't it, for Spurs, considering Ange, you know, tried to pick a reserve team and still managed to get a injury to a key player. Here's an Aussie tenner for the bottle, says Jordan. Much love to you and the family. Come on, United. Thank you, Jordan. Hope you're doing well. Went to Old Trafford and the Cliff last weekend for the first time coming from the US. Could feel the presence of legends who've been there, says Sean. Glad you enjoyed it. What's your supermarket of choice, says Henny? I think it's always, for me, it always depends what's the closest one to where I live or where I work. Like when I worked in Birmingham, Sainsbury's was the local one I used to use. When we lived in our last house, Aldi was the closest. So it just depends, really. Here you go for the wine marks, says Tom. I love watching you. Keep it up for as long as possible. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate that. Well, we're nearly hitting the 60-minute here. So let's see when these subs start, because you've definitely got Agate and Garnacho that can come on. And I can't see him sticking on Mason Mount. Been a viewer since the Pogba saga for the work you do. Thank you. Glad to see you. Add to the Melbeck Fund, says Ollie. Thank you very much. And Isaac has given us about €40 for the Melbeck Fund. This is going to be a cracking bottle of Melbeck. Head it away. Get rid of it. I'm going to have to do some research for a very, very, very good bottle of Melbeck. Isaac, thank you very much. Don't spend it all at once, says Toasty. Jay Wood's given us 20 for the Melbeck from North Dakota. Come on, United. Thank you very much, Jay Wood. Ian says, show the Melbeck mark. Well, thank you for your super chat, Ian, but I haven't bought it yet. Literally, it's not till Wednesday, so I'll show it you on Wednesday. I don't know why people are saying justice for Ian, because I've read that twice now, and I've only read it for the second time because of people going on and on about it. Cantano, Zapata, Melbeck, Argentino 2020, says Mario. What? Oh, God. Oh, come on. What's happening here now? Oh. This ref's a twat. I mean, you've got to ask a question, what's Onana actually doing? I mean, it's a penalty. That's a penalty. He catches him with his elbow. I take it back. Well, VAR, we might get away with this because VAR has told him to go and have a look at it. So they're obviously saying it's not. I don't think there's a lot of contact, but I do think he takes his the back of his. I think he catches his. Look with the elbow. He does catch the back of his foot with his elbow. Look, watch. Oh no, he gets his hand. He gets his hand on the ball. He gets his hand on the ball. Yeah, he gets his hand on the ball. It's not a penalty. Is he going to give it? Not going to give it. No penalty. Now, you know what? I think I've got to say, I don't normally do this, but I've got to give VAR credit because it would have been very easy to say it wasn't clearly and obviously a mistake by the referee. I think when you first see it, it looks like Onana, who shouldn't be anywhere near there, by the way. He doesn't need to be where, that's just, doesn't need to run out that far. But when you first see it, you're like, he definitely connects with the player with his elbow. But he also touches it with his hand, and I think that's what saves him. So I think it's the right decision. But please, for the love of God, on Wednesday, don't be running out like that because you don't need to be doing that. So I think they got that right. I think they got that right. For me, it wasn't a penalty, although I thought it wasn't a penalty, then I thought it was a penalty, and then I thought it wasn't a penalty. So you've got to give VAR credit there. It's getting a bit tasty out there, though, isn't it? No need for Onana to make that challenge. I agree with that, Jack. He shouldn't be anywhere near that. How many watching from the States, says Jay Reynolds. I don't know whether we can actually do that. Mark, Munib, we've read Ian's message. I don't know why people are still asking for justice. Can Ian even tell them? Read it twice. Who's been a better signing, Onana or Rasmus, says Narnbread. I'll leave that to the chat. Need to see the receipt for the expensive Melbeck, says Henny. Tom Daly would have got a gold in the Olympics for that dive. Thank you very much, Tom. Bo. Welcome to Members Club, Jack. How is that a penalty, Mark? Watch it again, says Kernes. I think we have watched it together collectively, haven't we? Chelsea getting a bit desperate here. They need to win. If they don't win and Villa beat us on the final day, they won't be in the top 5. Why does Onana laugh when he does stupid things, as One Inch wonders? Nervous. It's just nervous. Visited Manchester last week. Crazy to see all the new skyscrapers being built. Hopefully the city's growth can reflect on United's future growth, says Chris. It's a dive and is a cheat, says Joe. Colin says, get a super nice bottle and a cheaper one and see which one's better. Oh, that sounds good. Put this towards the Malbec, says Gary Neville, United. Cork or screw, says Kevin. I'm not that much of a wine connoisseur, mate. I mean, I must admit, I like the convenience of a screw. Grab Seb Alukaze to stay up on Wednesday, says Corbin. Thank you, pal. Ever been to Wimbledon, Mark, says Alex. I've been to Wimbledon, the place. I've never been to Wimbledon, the tennis place, though. Marlowe says, no matter the importance of the game, 0 shots on target is embarrassing. Why are our players so bad at finishing when they practice all week? Jackie Boy says, you missed the chat. No, I didn't. I have a new in the box Maguire jersey. Any way to get it for you to Seb, says John. Keep it for yourself, John. Thank you very much. But keep that for yourself. I can get Seb stuff. Don't worry about that. But lovely of you to offer it. Went to Old Trafford and the Cliff. Done that one from Sean. Sean Turner, thank you very much for your super chat. I'll read it. I'm not going to talk about it because I'm getting a bit tired of it. We've got a cup final on Wednesday, and there'll be plenty of time to reflect on sales and signings and who should, players you hate and all that on there. And I've said this so many times over the last week, I'm not getting involved in it. So Sean's basically saying, are Onana and Rasmus in the top 3 in the worst starters in their position we've ever had? They're awful. That's fine. Freedom of speech. It's not a dictatorship, but I'm focused on the game on Wednesday, and I'm not going to sit here. I think we've all got a part to play on Wednesday, and I don't think sitting here screaming and shouting about how shit certain players are really fits in with what I believe a Man United fan should be going into a cup final that we don't actually get that many of them, and it's huge for our future. So, yeah. But chat amongst it yourself. You won't get blocked. Jimmy, thank you very much for your super chat. Sean Atwood says, be careful with your hip, mate. Had a bad hip and a wall almost fell on him. Forgot about those. Lambrini only, says One Inch Wonder. Stick with the Gary Barlow and the hoodie. It got us this far, says David. I don't think Gary Barlow does an expensive bottle of Melbeck, mate. I'm sure he'd let us have it if expensive, but no. How about instead of wasting it on alcohol, you send it to me so I can buy some pants, says Lisa. You probably... Anyway, we'll leave it. Mark, you're not a goalkeeper. How do you know what's right, says LC. I'm not a cow, but I know what makes a good burger. I mean, that's just a stupid comment. How do you know I'm not a bloody goalkeeper? I don't play in the Premier League. That should have been a penalty on Ahmad. He's going to book him for diving. I hate diving bookings. How can you tell it's a dive? Yeah, he did dive. Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, he's got to stop that. Here we go. Subs are coming on. Mounts off. Casemiro off. Agate on. Garnacho on. Yeah, look, he's done it a couple of times now, Ahmad. He needs to stop. You'll get a bad reputation for it. There are the subs, Colin. I miss Gary Barlow. I want him back for good, says A-Right. Since it's the National Day tomorrow in Norway, are you going to celebrate together with your Norwegian fans on your channel by eating a lollipop ice cream, says Howder. I've never heard of a lollipop ice cream. I've not watched Under Season 2, Mark. Nath Footy, no. Is it any good? No idea what's going on, but just this for Ian to show. It's just people in the chat being stupid. Ian gave a very generous super chat, which we've said twice and spoken about twice, and some people just get a bee in a bonnet, so I just ignore them. Is this our team for the final? God help us, says Stephen. We're drawing 0-0 against Chelsea in a game they need to win. I think some people are just... There are negative people out there you can go and listen to who pretend to support Manchester United and actually just want to grow off being negative. I've said to you before, I've played the game. I know what it takes to win cup finals and I know what it takes to lose cup finals. And I don't think moaning about how shit we are is really the sort of thing that's going to make a shit team perform. So I choose positivity. If we lose on Wednesday, the wrath of Goldbridge will be there for all to see. But I will play my part in the positivity. And there's a goal. Cucurella. See, as soon as I start trying to be positive, there's a goal. Twats. Absolute twats. Oh, so annoying. It's so annoying to concede to them. You know, the thing that's annoying is yet again, we're going to lose a game where we haven't played that bad. I'm so fucking fed up of it this season. I really am. Wolves was the same. West Ham was the same. We just fucking can't score goals. And guess what? Overloads on the back post with a back five. How is Mazraoui got 2 players to mark in a back five? I just don't understand why we get exploited on the back post all the time when we're playing a back five. Against fucking Chelsea as well. I just had enough. I've just had enough of it. Just want this season to end. I really fucking do. I tell you what, if we do lose on Wednesday, I'm smashing up the set. I'm on the edge. I'm on the fucking edge. A back five, and we still get overloaded on the back post. Two 2-0 now. Oh, fucking hell. How's he missed that? Madueke should have made it 2-0. Well, what's happened here is Chelsea need to win. Lindelof. This is Lindelof for you, look. He can't play in the final. What a miss. Thank God there's only one Premier League game left. Are we all with Bournemouth on Tuesday, says Joe? Well, we're all with Palace tomorrow as well. John says, people might disagree, but right now, Ahmad off the bench around tired defenders. Cucurella is the most unlikable current player, says 1 Inch Wonder. Garnacho's walking, says Corey. Unbelievable Jeff, says Gems. Ian says, stop the justice for Ian. Mark, you're a legend. Buying Beth a bottle tomorrow. I just want to win, says Ian. You are a legend, Ian. Thank you very much. I don't understand how you can say we're playing okay today. No shots. I mean, look, Marlow, I'll tell you why I think we're playing okay today. Because we've lost 17 Premier League games. We're absolutely fucking rubbish. And for an hour, we were as good as Chelsea, who desperately need a win to get into the Champions League through getting in the top 5 in the Premier League. We're 17th. So contextually, I think we've done okay tonight. But as per usual, there's just nothing going on in the final third. And look, I know Rasmus has had a stinker. I accept that. We all know that. But beyond having an actual stinker, it's not like Ahmad or Mount or Bruno or Dorgu or Mazraoui have been put in, getting the ball anywhere near the penalty box, have they? Yes, his hold-up play could be better, but, not every striker is responsible for hold-up play to make a team attack. There are other ways that we can attack. And we've just been very poor at it again. European VAR worries me on Wednesday more than how we perform. Would have given the handball and the penalty against us, says Sean. Let's see Join Wine Night get some schlaw, says Henny. I was a professional goalkeeper for 9 years. For the penalty, Onana should have come off his line way sooner, but coming out was the right decision. I don't know what coach is seeing him. He has no basic techniques, says Brandon. Can see if Spurs score first, will capitulate, says Phil. Thank you very much to Sean as well. Thank you, Marlow. Will they actually splash the cash on a striker now, says Colin. We are going to buy a striker, but it's going to probably be Liam Delap. It's Jadon Sancho. Freedom. Forget false 9, says Mr. Arnold. Okay. Fans sing the Garnacho whilst Reece does him for the assist as class of 99. We should be apologising to Aston Villa. Really. Because we could fuck up their Champions League hopes. We'll probably go and beat them at Old Trafford. It's a nice ball into Garnacho, but he's got a lot to do. Reece James just knocks him to the ground with his arm. Right in front of the linesman. Linesman's not having any of it. Well, Luke Shaw's going to play 90 minutes. I think that's a positive. Try a Vela Pacella red wine, says Jason March. And with Mason sub, our press is gone, says DV. Come on, let's at least have a shot. That's a shit ball, that is. I knew it was a shit ball. These long balls that are bouncing are fucking annoying. Like, the more the ball's in the air, the longer it's in the air, the harder it is to control. And you got to, when you're countering, you've got to keep the ball on the grass. It moves quicker. And we always put fucking air in it. They haven't even shown a replay of what happened to Garnacho. Here's Neto. Straight at Onana. Who would you blame for the way our season has turned out, says Anthony. The owners. Obvious, isn't it? If you're not blaming them, I'd love to know who you are. We really have a reputation of our fullbacks not tucking in and conceding crap goals. Wan-Bissaka was guilty of it. When will it end? Says Drew. We've suffered since Casemiro's gone off, says Chiri. Look, to be honest, most of us would have took 1-0 loss before the game, but the frustrating thing is how we've conceded again. It's just like, we've not been an attacking threat, but I really think we could have got a 0-0 out of this. Here's Ahmad. He's got to pass. And he shoots. It's a good shot. It is a good shot, but I will say this. There's never an intention to pass or cross it. You've got Maguire in the box. You've got Garnacho on the edge, and it's just always shoot, isn't it? Always shoot. It's a good shot, but next season will be the same, Mark. Look at the goals we concede. 52% from simple crosses. And we have no idea what to do, says Tusha. I'd be pissed off if I was Maguire there. He's clearly going to win a lot of headers. And he wins it. And he sort of gets it, heads it towards the front of Sanchez. And there's not one red shirt there thinking there's a good chance Maguire will win this and it might come in and around the, the goal line. Well, we're making a big signing on Wednesday. Thank you for all the contributions. This bottle of Melbeck's going to be lit. Let's be honest. Let's just hope it can play the part. Only thing you need to care about tonight is injuries to Smell. Yes, that's a fair point, And it's true. Sarr for Spurs. Mainu's coming off and Luke Shaw's coming off. Mainu and Heaven are coming on. Shaw and Bruno are coming off. Sarr went down the tunnel for Spurs with a potential injury as well. So they've had a bit of bad luck tonight. Drummer Boy says, love Agate, but the midfield is too open without Casemiro and no press without Mount. Darcy says, Rasmus needs to work on his hold-up play. Awful. He's been really bad tonight. He has. Really bad. But people are trying to pull me into some sort of, like, Rasmus is shit. Rasmus needs to be sold. This, that, and the other. You're entitled to your opinion. We've been doing this for 10 years. You hold those opinions. If it makes you feel better, great. I'm really pleased for you. But I am not even doing it with Onana. I am not doing it with anybody. I've told you. I've played the game. I'm older than a lot of you. I've only had 7 European finals in 45 years. They don't come around very often. And I've never been into a final where I'm slagging players off and slagging the team off, and I'm not about to do it now. Whether it's Onana, whether it's Rasmus, whether it's Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, I'm behind this team. I'm not going to be responsible for some sort of negativity going into this final. I think we have a part to play. The big thing tonight is that we're going to lose again, which is massively disappointing. But the main thing is it doesn't look like we've got any injuries, and we've got a win on Wednesday. Once Wednesday's out the way, let's have a conversation about the striker. Let's have a conversation about the goalkeeper. I completely agree, but I don't really see what point there is in getting frustrated, angry, and abusive towards our own players when Onana might pull off a world-class save on Wednesday and win us the game, or Rasmus might whack one in with his left foot and win us the game. So that's just where I am. And people can get frustrated with that. Maybe it comes with age, maybe it comes with experience, but I just don't see the point. I don't see the point. Why? Tom says Rasmus might score the winner on Wednesday. I hope he does. I hope Onana saves a penalty if they get one. I don't care who the hero is on Wednesday. And I think this is this is something I was talking about on That's Football. Football's become very niche. There are football fans out there now who don't actually support the team. They support circumstances. They're a Man United fan if the players they like are playing and the players they don't like aren't playing. If Man United have got players they don't like playing, they're not really as big a fan. And I don't care who plays on Wednesday. I don't care if we don't play a striker. I don't care if Bienda plays in goal. As long as Man United win, that's all I care about on Wednesday. It matters not to me whether my favourite player scores a goal or has a worldie. I don't care if bloody Victor Lindelof's man of the match. As long as we win, I don't care. It's just that's all that matters on Wednesday is winning the game. I'm disappointed to lose this, I've got to be honest. Not because it matters and we haven't had any injuries. I'm just disappointed by the... Look, we've done nothing going forward. That is really disappointing. But the goal we've conceded, I've seen it so many times. Like, that's not Onana's fault. It's not the attacker's fault. It's just on the back post, again, outnumbered. And it's been happening for years. It used to happen with Wan-Bissaka, as somebody said. It used to happen with Delot, with Ten Hag. It used to happen with Ollie. I just don't know why we're such a weak team on the back post. And that could happen on Wednesday. Those sort of things worry me. Conceding goals that we've always seen. It's disappointing. Chelsea been the better team second half. Yeah, we've been shit. I liked the first 20, says Marlowe, when we tried to get Dorgu up for crosses multiple times, but he needs to practice those crosses. So Jim's there with Wilcox and Barada. Yeah, it's a home from home from him. Harvey says, I'm going to a sports bar in London for the final. It's in Stratford, though, so I'll have the West Ham fans on my side. Keep it up and enjoy the Melbeck, says Harvey. Thanks, pal. Football is simple. If you can't score, you can't win, says Sid. I don't know what people expect. Our back post has been open the last 30 games. League One team would put a few past us, says Constantine. Mike says, I feel for Rasmus, to be honest. He gets a little in service. Martial had the same issue. We are a graveyard FC. Look, if I could put Liam Delap up front on Wednesday, I probably would do it. I did a Chelsea video this week and I said Nicholas Jackson's a better player than Rasmus at the moment. So, you know, these things are all true, but it doesn't mean that Liam Delap or Nicholas Jackson or Gyökeres would actually get decent service. Because I actually think, as bad as Rasmus has been tonight, I think some people are being a little bit blind to the fact that Mount created fuck all. Ahmad's created fuck all. Garnacho's not come on and created anything either. That's still a truth. So, yeah, Rasmus hasn't played very well. He's been shit, to be honest. But so's everybody else in the attack. You know, is very, very self-centred again. And if we can't do it, worries me in the final, because if people are going to start thinking about shooting and this in the final because it's a final, we've got to play as a team. And if I was Amorim, I'd be disappointed with that. I'm glad it's out of the way. This final is what it's all about. Please add this to the Melbeck list, says Raj. Tessa says, why is it always Rasmus called out and no one else? Well, I think Rasmus should be called out, but I also think that he's not 100% responsible for how shit our attack's been tonight, but people won't do it, will they? Do they come in 6-litre bottles, these Melbecks, says Matthias? Deadline day for season tickets today. Hurts to cough up 1,100 after this dreadful season. To add insult to injury, they put the price up too, says Kev. That's gone. That's been a bit quiet then, Kev, hasn't it? No one's really said anything about that. Nate says, first time super chat, just to say I've never understood how someone with eyes could see Casemiro as an issue. The only reason he misses a pass is due to he sends it to where the players should have been, says Nate. Yeah, but he was an issue, Nate. He had a bad 12 months. We can't, you know, he's been brilliant the last few weeks, but we can't pretend that he's always been brilliant. Players go through good and bad patches, you know. The criticism of Casemiro this time last year was completely justified. And the praise is completely justified now. Do you think the runner-up of each European tournament should automatically be back in the tournament the following season? Well, I'd like that to be the case. Who to blame? Because we'd be back in Europe. But yeah, I think that's the only reason. Jackie Swan says, my friend had a bad hip. A week later, he got eaten by a great white shark. Probably couldn't swim away. Hi, Mark. Why doesn't the Glazers reconsolidate the loan from the debt to themselves and loan with no interest to United? Well, because they don't want to spend, and they don't want anything for them to have to spend. At least Bury got promoted. Up the Shaggers, says Andrew Neely. You should get the Vivino app on your phone. It's a great way to find good wine. All you got to do is scan the label in the app, says De Beer. Thank you. Thanks everyone who's tuned in tonight, by the way. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Also, on a bit of a positive note, Dave81 has got a full house on Match Bingo. So, well done to him. I didn't quite get a line home. Probably hindered by the fact that we've only had one goal. And it wasn't scored with a right foot. It was scored with a head. But well done to Dave81. He won on the Match Bingo. So we were playing that tonight with Match Bingo. Remember, you can do that for other games as well. Links in the video description, or scan the QR code when it goes round to play that. We're nearly into stoppage time here. Look at them surrounding Agate. Jog on. They might review that for a red. Nah, it's not a red. Shut up. Never a red. 7 minutes added on. Oh, that's the worst news of the night. You can't blame Agate for going in hard on Cucurella. We'd all do it. In a fair way. Player ratings, yeah. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. We'll go through that, of course. We could play till Christmas and not score here. Definitely going to get linked to a couple of players tomorrow. Mark my words. We need to get the positivity up. I don't think we've been in their penalty. I don't think we've been in their penalty box. Oh my God! What is wrong with him here? They're just all over the place. Yellow card. Chelsea are very unlikable as a team. I've not watched them for a while, but they're just moany arseholes on everything. Surrounding the referee, they're the new Man City. I mean, it's painful on Gusto, but it's definitely not a red, is it? They both go in committed. Look at the way Gusto goes in two-footed. Gusto goes in two-footed. I mean, that's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant football from the referee. Gusto's literally off the floor, two-footed, and comes off worse. And we're all meant to go, oh, it could have been a red. Fair play to Heaven. He's just coming back from an injury. I'd fucking go in like that as well. If he'd gone into that tackle normally, it'd have been his leg broken. Let's get this game out of the way. Johnny Evans, Yamel swap, says Bartley. Why is it that no player bought on looks like they want to win it, says Manjula. Got my Garte yellow card wage, says Robert. We need to be positive at this moment, says Pokyan. What does it do to slander the players at the moment? We need to stand behind them until the final. After is another story. 100%. 100%. Yeah, I don't see the point in being negative until after the final. Chelsea is still producing many actors, says D. Khan. They're just going to keep the ball in the corner now. You should get any bottle of wine of your choice that you like. Leave it to age and open it for one. United win the Premier League. Hopefully it won't age well, says Killen. Eurovision, watch and sing along tomorrow, says Rob. I don't watch that anymore. Who's your favourite United player of all time, says Smarticus. I'd say probably, taking into account the fact that I supported United as a young kid, and you know you're more, you have heroes then because you've not grown up. I would say people like Roy Keane and David Beckham would be the two. If you can go back in time to see any United player live, who would it be? For me, I'd like to see Duncan Edwards. That's a good shout, Phil. Can't seem to hold the ball since Bruno came off, says Nathan. Yeah, I mean, look, it's a great point. Since Bruno's come off, we've been shit, haven't we? What other top club has co-owners? It's a joke, says Henny. No retreat, no agenda, says I bought the new goalkeeping kit 2 weeks ago and I can't get it out of the box. Breaks my heart to say it, but I think it's better we don't win on Wednesday. We're so bad, says Anthony Jury. But that's exactly why we do need to win, mate, because if we don't win on Wednesday, you're going to see the same players next season. A striker in an Amorim system is highly specialised. It would have been a miracle if the young striker we bought in before him was right for this system, says James. Where do you think we'll finish next season, says Ryan? I think it depends what happens with signings, mate. Stuart says, if we win Europa, it'll be amazing, but the streets won't forget the attitude of a group of grown adult men who have just given up in the league. Zero desire to win, says Henry. What was I going to say? Player ratings. Yeah, I'm trying to think about. Well, I'll be doing it live with you, but if you want to do the player ratings, just scan the QR code, get yourself signed up for that. It only takes a minute or so, and mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. If you have already signed up, just don't forget to do it because it's always there for you. Ahmad's injured. Well done, Dorgu. No foul. Ahmad's just gone flying into a tackle. Why is Mainu slowing it down? The goal's that way, mate. Why are we going side to side in a fuck? We're losing 1-0. The fuck is this? Whoa! That fan just got absolutely clattered. Absolutely clattered. That's the tackle of the night. That Chelsea steward. Magnificent. That was brilliant. Absolutely took him out. Fucking hell. That guy's a hero now. That's the best tackle I've seen all season. Belongs on bloody... No, I won't say that. Absolutely took him out. Spear. Ref, just blow the whistle. We've all got homes to go to. There's a lot to talk about in the match reaction. Here's Garnacho. He's going to lose that. Not giving the foul. Apparently that guy had to be taken off in 2 pieces. There we go, final whistle. Get out, absolute shite. Cucurella's probably just earned them Champions League football. To be honest, I'd be worried if I was a Chelsea fan, though. That they're not a very good team, are they? But we're even worse. I don't think they did enough to win that. I think it was a crap game of football, which we contributed to. But, you know, again, back post, rubbish. Shocking performance from Manchester United yet again. Lots to dissect. I mean, look, Amrim said before the game about performance. 18 losses in the Premier League. How many points have we got? I'm just fed up of it. I think it's beyond embarrassing now. 39 points. We probably won't even get 40 points. That's just disgusting. I can't remember the last time. When was the last win in the Premier League, actually? We played Southampton recently. Maguire and Colwill smiling and having a... I don't think there's a lot to smile about out there, to be honest, as a United player. But to be honest, they're just paid millionaires thinking about the final, aren't they? That's what they're doing. They're thinking about the final. There's nothing to be smiling about on the pitch, and I'm not having a go at Harry Maguire there, but it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. That attack was shit tonight, and I don't for 1 minute think that Rasmus was anything other than shit. But I thought the attack in general was rubbish. James says, how have we managed to stay up? Right, let's get over to the match reaction because that's where we need to go through this. Don't forget to do your player ratings. I really want to see who you're voting for because I want to know who's going to be man of the match because I've got a bloody clue. I'll see you over there in a moment. Thanks for watching.